The other thing that I'm seeing out in this industry is people that are changing what they do based on some new science. First, I want to remind you that we never should throw the baby out with the bathwater. That we built arches that are standing today after thousands of years, and nobody understood the physics behind it at the time. Science is really nice to help us confirm what we think we know, and whether or not the successes that we're seeing are coming for the reasons that we think they are. But you should never take a study of 11 dogs and change what you've done with 5,000 based on that. It's really a very limited look, and it's also an environment that you guys will never see. Put a dog in a scent box is a totally different test of what a dog can do than what it is when it's doing some sort of either sport test or practical work. Totally different. So what are we doing here? Why is it that I say that? Because we have to do something really important, and that is to understand what to do with a dog right now that's right in front of us that we need to get from point A to B. I can't go back to some paper that told me about what odors do and try to figure that out and then come back to this dog. It's got to be what's actionable. I got to see it, I got to know what to do about it, I got to plan for it or make a new plan depending on what I see. And it has to happen relatively fast. So we've got some old techniques, we've got some new techniques. When I say new techniques, they're not even new. How many people have experimented with markers and nose work? Most everybody. Why? Why? Why?
Markers work.
Who told you they work?
The dog told me.
The dog told you?
Yeah, she just,
Okay.
She got the marker and she just knows that's when she's going to get her treats.
Okay. Why is it so popular right now?
It's on social media.
It's part of it, but it also is very successful. Where did it come from? Where's the first recorded use of a marker that we can go back to that's in the written history of these things?
Skinner. Skinner, psychology.
Nah, Skinner's way late on this one. You'll find I don't quote Skinner very much, and I'll explain why. Pavlov. Pavlov. He didn't call it a marker, but he created a marker, several different kinds. What was the marker?
The bell.
Except there was no bell in the experiments. The translation was wrong, is what happened. It was in Russian and they translated it poorly. What it was a metronome to start with. Everybody know what a metronome is? Keeping time for playing instruments. A metronome, a light, and he also used mild electric shock. Ooh, electricity, we can't talk about that. That predicted what? What did those things predict to the dogs in his experiments?
That food was coming.
That food was coming. What would we call that food if we're trying to accomplish something with a dog? Reinforcement or reward. Now, it's really important because this is where Pavlov starts messing with our stuff. Is reinforcement and reward the same thing?
No.
No, it's not. All rewards are generally reinforcement, unless the dog doesn't want it. It's a reinforcer. But there are reinforcers that are not rewards, that we don't manipulate. Reward is something I manipulate somehow, either through creating an environment for the dog, or even handing it to the dog, or marking it, and then eventually giving it to him. Those are rewards, but that are also reinforcers. But there are things that dogs do, and this is super important in this little subset of dog behaviors that we're going to play with. The reinforcers can be hunting, can be chasing, can be dissecting. These things can be intrinsic reinforcers for the dog. How many people have had dogs that chase rabbits? How many did they catch? Did they stop chasing it?
Well, it basically got through the fence, so yeah.
Well, something stopped them, but did they want to chase the next one? Yeah. Well, so there's no reward system in it if they're not catching them, right? Wrong. It's intrinsically reinforcing. It feels good to participate in the activity. We tend to be really horrible as dog trainers not understanding this. We want to be in charge. Dog, you're going to do what I do because I give you a reward. And we ignore the fact that that dog has emotions. Now, I'm not saying human emotions, please. I don't like to anthropomorphize at all. Dogs have a set of doggy emotions. We have to be cognizant of that. When it feels good to them and they are, let's just use the word happy, they're going to do it again. So there was a guy who is the father of ethology. A couple of guys. They won Nobel Prizes. Guys like Konrad Lorenz and Tinbergen and his generation of scientists. And they were ethologists. This is not a term you hear a lot in the United States. We're starting to hear it more. And among the canine crowd, among people doing research on nose work and scent work, we're hearing it. What is ethology? And this is a perspective that we all have to have if we're going to be good at this specialty. Anybody know? Ethology is the study of an animal in its environment making its living. We just lost somebody really important that did a lot of this for us. Her name was Jane Goodall. She went into the environment of the apes, observed them. Now, there is some criticisms to that because she was in the environment. And we do know that if the environment normally doesn't have human beings, when we introduce human beings, there's a change been put into it. And that's the criticism that people have of that kind of science. But here's what's interesting about dogs. The domestic dog, we are its environment. This is its environment. And we get to look at the dog where it makes a living, right here. That type of work with domestic dogs is called cynology, or kynology, depending on which language you're using. All right? And that's the study of the domestic dog. That perspective that ethological perspective is where I come from in looking at animals. And some of this is my training. So a lot of my training goes back to the Northern German type of police dog training. And in Northern Germany in the 1950s, and going to Skinner, this is pre-Skinner. Skinner published his famous works in the 60s, which were amazing. He was an amazing scientist. And if you want to look at what happened with your dog, it's a great way to look at that, go back and see what was going on while your dog was learning. Because everything Skinner did was in the past tense. All right? We have to look at what's in the present. And that's where ethology comes in. And it's really, really helpful for us. The 1950s, in Northern Germany, and one of the states, they got scientists together and the best police dog trainers in the country together. And they created a curriculum. And that curriculum was based on ethology as well as the needs of the police at that point in time. It's evolved over the years. And so it's still in use in Germany and several of the states, modifications for other states. It is the foundation of the curriculum that is being used for Border Patrol and CBP. It's the foundations that I've used in my business and in my personal work with police service dogs. Other states, Nebraska, Kansas, part of Florida, part of Colorado, almost all of Utah, Alaska, South Dakota, Wyoming, all of these have a presence that is an evolution of this curriculum. All right, so that's where it comes from. It's not Kevin's show and he didn't just make it up.